shoulder to shoulder.
It does. You got a real good split stream.
Okay.
That's right.
Give me some.
Wait, the other way.
Oh, wait, the other way. There you go. Everything is fucking backwards. When you try to do a hand signal, it fucked up. So we just kind of hang out for a few minutes, let people get the notification on their phone that we're live. Once I see that we've got a baker's dozen or so people watching us, then we'll actually fire it up, and you'll know that we're going because we have a theme song and other
cool
like
theme
that.
song.
Yes, a damn cool theme song.
I think we should go back to back, Brandon. Brandon, I think we should go back to back.
Yeah, you'll see it too.
Ooh, look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Yeah.
So, dude, we're all. The city is ready. We already have enough people. Let's go. Let's fire it up. Hello and welcome to the Indie Beer Show.
Hey.
Holiday Abel.
Oh my God! Yes, Holiday Abel is adorable. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we are joined by Emboldened Beer Co. and New Motion Beverages, which is a new hybrid concept of everything: beer, kombucha, sparkling tea, hard seltzer. I'm sure there's 4 or 5 other items that you guys are going to invent. But let's start with our guests. Why don't you guys introduce yourself and try to describe your role at Emboldened or New Motion or both?
Cool.
Yes.
I'm Cody Morris. I'm the director of operations here at Embolden. And then
I'm Andrew Kelly. I'm the head brewer here for Embolden New Motion.
And the reason why Estella is laughing is because Caesar, the first thing he fucking says, pants are off and I'm ready. So thank you.
As I said, again, that's what we were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
so he does. It looks like Cody and Andrew don't have pants on either, so you're good, Caesar.
No. If I stand up, everybody's going to watch it.
As usual, Caesar has breaking news just after it was announced. So thank you, Caesar, for being consistent. We appreciate that.
State your source, Caesar. State your source.
State your source. All right, so we're going to jump right into beer 1, which is actually the beer I've heard the most raving by San Diego beer geeks. It's called Original Sinister Bohemian Pilsner.
Hey.
Yeah,
is that this one? I couldn't
That's
read
this
it.
one right here.
Yeah,
guys.
this one.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell.
Yes. So why don't you kind of break down this beer, what we're about to taste?
Cool.
I'll let him take the role on this one. So.
We just try to do just a real traditional Czech style Pilsner with that. Use a Bohemian Pilsner malt. We use Czech style hops. Pilsner Kel yeast, and just went hoppy with it like it should be.
So kind of like the background on here is actually we've been trying to find out what we want one of our core beers to be on the lighter side, and so this was the second. We did a Kolsch as the first go around, which I think Brandon's actually tried. So we did a Kolsch. We've done the Pilsner, and then right now we have the Mexican Lager in the tank. So we're trying to find something in that lighter range, that kind of the everyday drinker, everyday beer. And so this was the second go around, and we're pretty excited about the outcome so far.
Awesome, clean, crisp, like exactly what you described you were going for. Just a simple, straight ahead, nothing out of whack. And that's, I think, what's key with a Pilsner is you get everything in balance and not be afraid of making it hoppy. It's supposed to be a hoppy beer. Congrats. Fucking love it.
Thank you.
I could drink a shit ton of this, guys. Very good. Very good. Very good.
It's been one of the crowd favorites around here, so we're really excited about that one for sure.
What is the ABV on this, guys?
5%.
I could drink
it doesn't say on the can.
You really could drink a lot.
It doesn't say on the can. So I'm not sure.
Did it come off? Did it come off on your can?
I think it was right there somewhere.
I put
Right there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes we get treated nice, and this is one of those times. So,
get really good, Roy. Cheers, man. Cheers.
Before anybody else has, so in the can. So.
That's awesome, man. So, yeah, indeed, we're very, very thankful. So, how did you guys kind of get started in brewing, and what led to you guys ended up here at Emboldened in New Motion?
Yeah, so I had actually traveled to Spain right out of college. I mean, did my stereotypical Europe trip right out of college, and everything that you drink there was really light lager, light beer, and which I loved. And then when I came back, I was living in New York City Heights at the time, right around the corner from Small Bar, RIP. And I went over to Small Bar. I landed like on a Thursday night at like 8 o'clock, and my buddy picked us up at the airport. We went to go have a beer. We walked in, and it was just 30 different options, so different from what I had just been a part of. And so I started trying a couple different beers there, really fell in love with it. And then my sister had just started dating a new guy who was a home brewer, and I'd gone down to his place, and his homebrew sucked. It was terrible.
So this is the usual story about homebrewers: is most homebrewers do not produce great beer.
No,
I thought you were going to go the other way in that. I thought you were going to be like, this is what sucked me into craft beer.
I had like a super addictive personality, and so I was like, I really liked cooking at the time. And so when he showed me homebrewing and how fun it could be, it was kind of what really jump started me into it. And I just jumped in like head first, fell in love with it. And then within a couple months, my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, is actually Andrew's cousin.
Yeah.
And so I had met Andrew.
That's how we know each other.
Yeah. So Andrew's pretty much family to me. And so I met him and his brother Brian. And then we all started homebrewing together. I mean, they got a little bit a head start on me, but I started homebrewing with them.
Also, brother? No, just kidding. So speaking of, Andrew, why don't you kind of give us the abridged version of your history at San Diego Brewing and how you ended up here?
I was 20 years old and started homebrewing with my brother and my dad.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And I mean, same thing. I just fell in love with it, went all in, and within a few years, I started working at a brewery. Started working at Coronado about 7 years ago. I was there for a while, and from there, went to mission with Cody, and we worked together for about a little over a year before jumping here to Embolden.
That's right. So you both were at mission at the same time. That was something I wasn't confident on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I had left. I was at Twist and Manzanita. If you remember that out in
we remember.
Yeah. I was at Twist and Manzanita, and I was there on the final day that they were open. And then at the same time, I was working for Monkey Paw, doing some sales and events for Monkey Paw.
You're just going to bring up places that have closed now? Is that your shtick today, or what?
Did you cancel?
Well, so yeah. 3 breweries I've worked at have all closed, so let's hope that doesn't continue. But I got started at Mission, and I worked my way up through Mission, and then eventually, when we were looking for a brewer, I hired Andrew from Coronado at the time to come work with us at Mission, and then we came here together. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, it's everything that someone that runs a mid to larger production brew house always says, is that they want, eventually you get to a point that you want to do your own thing and maybe a tiny bit smaller and have a little more control and freedom. And it sounds like you guys have kind of found that.
Nick over at Harlan Brewing Company, him and I have become pretty good buddies because we were helping Harlan get off the ground when they were building out their brewery in Scripps Ranch. So Nick and I talk every day pretty much, and we're good friends with him. And I remember him and I having the same conversation. He had left St. Archer to go to Harlan, and so he took a step back from a bigger production brewery to have the freedom to do what he wants, and that's exactly kind of what we have just done. I mean, he comes from Coronado and Mission, and so we've been in bigger production breweries, and now to take a step into a smaller brewery and have the freedom to do whatever we want has been so fun. So.
That's right, man. So how did it all come together? Like, how did this combination of brands and brewing 32 North's brands and that facility, how did it all like actually happen?
It's good, right?
Yeah, so Kyle, the CEO of New Motion and Emboldened, Kyle and I have known each other for about 7-8 years. We met at a bachelor party in Vegas a long time ago. Through some,
like you do?
Yeah. One of my mutual friends. So Kyle reached out to me at Mission probably about a year ago to act as a consultant as he was going through the process of New Motion has been him and Andy. They're two founders of New Motion along with their fiancés and wives. It's been their brainchild for about 5 years. And so Kyle asked me to act as consultant because they were looking at taking over one of their brewery igniter spaces. And so through that, him and I just started talking a lot more, and I was using some connections to help him look for equipment. And one thing led to another, and we found out that 32 North was for sale. And so we kind of actually acted really quickly and put an offer in, and it's a bigger system than we anticipated going for. And so with that, we were like, well, why don't we do beer as well? And so that's where Embolden came into the mix. So originally, New Motion was going to be 100% hard kombucha.
Okay.
And so from that, they're kind of testing the waters with some hard sparkling tea, which you guys will try in a little bit. But once we found this place at a bigger capacity than we originally anticipated, we decided to go for the beer company as well and do a dual concept in the same brewery, much like Port Brewing and Lost Abbey, Offshoot and Brewery, just two brands under one roof. And so Embolden is pretty much 100% beer, and New Motion is everything not beer.
Everything not beer. And so the birth of Embolden also gave Andrew a job?
Yeah.
I'm guessing?
Yeah, so
that's right.
When we signed the paperwork and everything was finalized, I went back to work that day. Went to him like, hey man, I'm putting my notice tomorrow and you're coming with me. And he's like, yeah, I'm down.
No brainer.
Well, I'm glad you guys
That's
have
awesome.
on it because I really have enjoyed them already. And it'd be a shame if you didn't have those beers and you weren't using your expertise that you guys have worked on. I had idea so closely together from such a long time back, but that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we're stoked. I mean, like Embolden, New Motion has been in the works for a while. Embolden was a quick concept that we pretty much put together on a 2 to 3 week notice.
Wow.
And for this to happen so quickly, and we expanded when we took over. There's 22 taps here, and we quickly added 10 more, so we have 32 total taps here. And so the goal is to have pretty much a 50-50 mix of about 16 Embolden options and 16 New Motion options. Take away 2 for water and CO2. But so about 30, a 50-50 mix. And so we've kind of hit the ground running. I mean, him and I both coming from production background, we kind of know how to flip tanks pretty quick. And so we've used that to fill our board pretty quickly. Yeah.
And it's so different than what you were doing at Mission too, with such a core beer from Mission. And now you're over here. Okay, let's fill out 1 million taps basically with creative things that are one-off by nature almost. Anyway.
Yeah, so at Mission we actually had 24 taps there, but we did have 9 cores. So we had a lot of specialty beers that really never left the tasting room. And unless you're going to a Padre game or coming down there to hang out in East Village, which nobody really does, nobody really got to feel like the specialty beers that we were brewing. So I'm pretty stoked on what we were doing there. It's just it never really left the tasting room, which unfortunately kind of was a bummer because nobody got to see that we were doing other things besides so many cores. Yeah. So to come here and really kind of decided that we didn't want to have more than 3 or 4 at the most cores, and everything else is going to be 100% specialty stuff.
Nice.
So speaking of, you guys make fucking everything. So why don't you try to tell us all the different types of beverages you make, and you're using barrels in inventive ways. Like, let's try to break it down on every single different type of beverage you are producing currently.
Yeah, so we're going for everything.
Yeah.
So Andy and Kyle, when they approached me and we talked about everything, we have a fifth friend mentality is what we call it. So if 5 friends go to a brewery, there's a good chance that that fifth friend probably doesn't drink beer or doesn't like beer. And so we want to have something for everyone. And so that was the really good, awesome part about New Motion is called New Motion Beverages. It's not New Motion Hard Kombucha. It's not New Motion Hard Seltzer. It's New Motion Beverages. So under that company, under New Motion, our goal is to have something for everyone. If somebody comes here and they like beer, then we've got beer for them, obviously. But if they don't like beer, we have hard kombucha, we have hard seltzer, we have hard sparkling tea, and then we're doing some really fun stuff with the barrels and actually making cocktail-inspired seltzers.
And we would have some non-alcoholic options as well.
Non-alcoholic for sure
as well.
So currently we have 2 hard or non-alcoholic sparkling teas on that have some hops, they have some fruit. It's a green tea with mango and mosaic hops, and a white tea with citra and yuzu. So that way, if somebody's here and they're the designated driver for the day, at least they can pull up a glass and sit with their friends, and it looks like a beer. So
that's rad, man.
So the goal is to have something for everyone under one roof, and so that way, if people show up here, they don't want to leave. And it was really cool at the grand opening. We got some awesome feedback from people that said that exact same thing. Like, oh, I really don't drink beer, but we've got something here that I would drink. And we've heard that from at least a dozen people in the 10 days we've been open. So.
That's rad. And I even saw that exact comment from the former brewer of 32 North, Jeff Swem, who visited you guys a couple of days ago. I just saw go through social media. He was bragging about your non-alcoholic offerings. So
he actually stops by every 2 days because he works about a block or 2 away.
That's rad.
Yeah.
It must be nice for him to go there and to be like buy a beverage or get a beverage and not have made it.
Yeah.
That's rad, man. It's really cool. And
so I know you mentioned the barrel option, so we'll kind of touch on that really briefly. But we've when we took over, they had a pretty extensive barrel lineup already, and we've cycled those out to bring in some new fresh barrels. And in those barrels, we've done a rosé hard seltzer, which we barrel fermented in Sangiovese barrels, and added red wine must and white wine must to the barrel to make it a rosé.
Which is what we're going to drink next here in a couple seconds, but that's rad.
Yeah, and then we've got some rum barrels from Cutwater down the street. We picked up some barrels to do some more cocktail-inspired seltzers that we're going to do, like a Mai Tai and a Mojito. And we recently just tapped a Paloma seltzer. So we're kind of looking at that craft cocktail market, but with the seltzer base.
Awesome. So in honor of you guys and your bold jump into every beverage there is that we consider craft in San Diego, we decided to talk about for our top 3 this week, our favorite local hard seltzers, which is a very small market, actually. When I dug into it harder, I was actually surprised there weren't more, but there's about 13 breweries in San Diego that are currently making a hard seltzer. And so we're going to start with our number 3, and I'm going to make Abel go first because he's below me. And he, first off,
wait, you say it below you?
Only on the screen.
My Siamese twin over here said it first. I love it.
As soon as you said that, I knew he was going to say something. I knew it.
No wonder you put me down here. Like,
I put you down there.
Yeah. Just look familiar.
Here. Here. We'll trade. How about that?
Oh, this could be better if we were drinking a cream ale.
Oh my God.
All right. So to answer your question, I don't have a top 3 or 2 or 1 because I don't drink seltzers.
There you go.
I'm nothing wrong about it. It just I don't drink sodas. I don't drink a lot of stuff with a lot of hard carbonation. It just doesn't do it for me. And so I'm not gonna say I won't try one because I will. I've had I think one from San Diego Brewery Company or the San Diego Beer Company a long time ago, but that's been pretty much it. So I will say Emboldened and No Motion are my 1, 2, and 3. Because I have one here tonight.
That is awesome. All right.
And
let's
so
go to
what's your number 3, Brian?
Okay, that's great.
You're below me.
Yes, indeed. So, that's so awesome. I'm glad it worked out. Yes. So for me, my number 3 is Ruler up in Carlsbad, friend of the show. I've only had a small sample of their particular hard seltzer, but theirs has a really clean, slight sweetness, not overly sweet. So some seltzers can be a little cloying for me, but theirs was pretty good, and their fruit level was okay. Like it didn't cross the line to being like super jammy. Just it was like there and complimentary and refreshing, and what I'm not that I'm looking for hard seltzer, but what I'm looking for in a hard seltzer when I drink one is something that's not overly sweet and it has a little crispness, and Rulers has that. So shout out to Raleigh. Love your stuff. Mr. Hernandez.
I don't drink a lot of seltzer either. A lot of times it really has to do with the fact that if I were at a brewery, I'd check it out. I haven't been to a brewery in a really long time lately. Yeah. So last time I was at a brewery for a collab was Beechwood Brewing when I was working at Society, and they had a seltzer on tap. They were really excited because it was our first one, and we gave it a shot. I thought it was really good. It wasn't clean, like you said. It had that fruity composition without all of that sugary, cloying sweetness, and I thought it was just fine. It wasn't exciting, but it was drinkable. And for me, having had a lot of, to be fair, I think at the time that I was trying breweries seltzers, they were just learning how to not learning how to make them. They knew how, but they were kind of refining the process still. So a lot of people's early drafts weren't so hot. But this was the first one I had where I'm like, I would actually drink that. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
Brad.
Okay.
Mrs. Estelle.
I think this is the show where none of us actually drink seltzers, but I called in a celebrity drinker, so I had Jess from Ale Tales actually choose them, and this is her number 3. It is the Ashland Mango Strawberry.
Ah!
Hey!
Sorry. Wrong button.
I have tried this one and I did enjoy it. It was good. But according to Jess, this is the number 3. And I do know Ashland seltzers are very good. And I know a lot of people love them and drink them. So shout out to Mission on that. but yeah, so this is her number 3, guys.
Excellent. That's right.
All right.
Did you guys want to play?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually really drank a ton of seltzers, but aside from Ashland, because we made Ashland at Michigan, so a lot of Ashland during the summer for sure when it was nice and hot out. And so I think I would put Ashland as my 1, 2, and 3 because I really haven't drank a whole lot of other ones. I mean, aside from ours that we're making here. So
that's awesome. That and acceptable. And like I said, there's like roughly 12 breweries in San Diego making them. And I've happened to have 2, so guess what's going to be on the list? Anyways, let's
have to say, yours are the first ones where I'm legitimately super excited to try it because they're different. And like you were describing the must and the barrel fermentation. I mean, that's a different level, and so I'm really stoked to try that and knowing that it will be something completely different. And so, anyways, I'm going to go under my Christmas tree. And I'm going to
pull it out.
I'm going to backtrack for a second, actually. I have actually had the Belgian Beaver stuff. The liquor store by my house sold it. And during the summer, like I live in a pretty warm area, and I picked some up. The Belgian Beaver seltzer was really good as well. Really, really clean, really fruity, without being overly sweet. So props to Belgian Beaver on that for sure.
Yeah, we had them on the show when they first initially put those out, and they told us the difference is they use real fruit in them. So they know a lot of
here as well. So,
oh, is that what you guys? Okay, cool. Right on.
Oh wow.
You'll see both the drinks that we've given you from New Motion today are both actually a seltzer base, and both of them have real fruit in them. So they'll have a lot of color to them, and so.
Yeah. All right.
So let's just refresh our memory about rosé hard seltzer. Barrel fermented with
Andrew
red
and I
wine
were
barrel.
talking about when kind of everything started coming to life with New Motion and Embolden, us leaving Mission to come here, and we knew that Kyle and Andy wanted to really pursue that avenue with trying some hard seltzers. We were looking for anything different. We didn't want to go with the black cherry and the lemon lime and the ones that everybody else is doing. The bigger companies. We wanted to try other things, and rosé is the perfect summer drink. And when we came here, it was in September when it's still really hot out, and so people love rosé. And so we decided, like, let's try a little bit different. Let's add some actual fresh grape must into it. We did some on that one. It's a Chardonnay and a Pinot Noir grape must into a seltzer that was rigorously fermenting, and we threw it in the Sangiovese barrels that we got from a winery in Temecula, and just let it go crazy. Hopefully, pick up some oak character, pick up some color, pick up the wine character. And so we were really surprised on how it turned out. I mean, it was a total science project that turned out really well. So
it's one of those things like, let's just do it, see what happens, and if it sucks, it sucks. If it's good, it came out pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Nobody would know that was hard seltzer if you just gave it to them. First,
what
is that?
It tastes like a wine. Yeah.
When we made it, it was actually 10.5% alcohol, and we kind of diluted it back to about 7% with some dehydrated water to make it a little bit more drinkable, a little bit lower ABV. But even at 10.5%, it was insanely drinkable. I mean, it's still lower alcohol than a typical glass of rosé. And so I think if we had kept it at 10 to 10.5%, I think it would have still sold really well because it was so drinkable.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, I think 10.5% seltzer would move.
I
mean, really seriously.
That we'll explore in the future because, like I said, we have some seltzer at a higher ABV in rum barrels. So we're thinking a mojito and a Mai Tai sound really good at a higher ABV.
So are you guys going to do the first double seltzer? Is that what you guys are going to do?
Imperial.
There you go. Imperial seltzer.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's catch up with the crowd. Hector says hi, and you eat burritos, and
of course.
How weird that you would eat burritos. Hello, Maggie. Thanks for joining us from work. Il Rev, thank you for joining us, man. Amy says it was an honor to work with Cody at Manzanita and Mission Hills. He kills it. Getting some really kind words from Mrs. Speckman. Congrats on that, Cody.
Awesome, thank you.
Right? Save that for posterity.
For a while, so.
Yeah, she's a great lady.
Andrew always looks hungry. So.
Yeah.
We had burritos, and then he ordered a pizza from the food truck like an hour later. I'm like, geez, please.
He's a growing boy. Let him eat, you guys. Let him eat.
He's growing outward and not upward, though, so that's the problem. So.
Fair warning from Caesar. He will be there soon, so maybe you want to leave now. Yeah,
You've been warned.
Liz happened to join the show when I was talking about Ruler, so you're welcome. Yes, I agree, Maggie. For a hard seltzer, this is a really enjoyable drink.
Yeah.
It doesn't read seltzer to me at all. And like Brandon said, I think if I was drinking it blind, I would have assumed it was a light wine of some kind or some kind of sparkling rosé by just itself. Yes, let's let Brandon run away.
So let me ask a question real quick.
I think Heather wanted some. That's why he had to run away.
Oh yeah, it's very important. It's very important to share with the wife.
Let me ask: do you guys sell this in like 4-packs or like
yes.
you can buy this?
So this is actually going to be in single 16-ounce cans when we release them to the market. So it should be hopefully hitting the market sometime in January. We had a limited run just for the grand opening, pretty much here at the tasting room is what you guys are tasting. We have some other stuff in barrel right now that we're planning on getting to the market in January. So.
Jess said,
but they'll be single 16-ounce cans. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
And we'll be doing different grape must varieties as well. I just kind of figured out what different.
Yeah, to see how different grapes kind of. I mean, we've been lucky to secure quite a few barrels from Temecula and wine country up there. But with that, we're using different grape must each time. So
the
one that we have in the barrel right now is Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Noir. trying to keep it a little bit lighter, but a mix of red and a white grape.
Okay.
Excellent, man. Ken says we should keep the random rearrange function. So here you go, Ken.
There it is again.
We'll just throw.
We're flying.
people
We're flying,
around.
guys. We're flying.
Matt Bobineau says
Making me
number.
dizzy. Yeah.
Matt Bobineau's in line with Abel with number 3. But yes, Imperial Seltzer, you're here here first. Pit Craft Beer Dad, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us from BC.
Hello.
That's British Columbia for those that don't necessarily.
I got a lot of family up there, actually.
Oh, man,
That's right. So this
awesome.
is our friend podcast up in Canada, Pacific Beer Chat. So thanks, Jordan. We appreciate you joining us. Amy says she's excited to check out the Rosé Seltzer. You should be, actually, Amy. It's a pretty dang good product.
Amy's gonna love this. She's gonna absolutely love this. Yeah.
And hello, Mrs. Bobineau. I don't know
Hi,
what
Candace.
you're me tooing about, but I hope
She's saying she's excited to check it out as well.
Okay, you're excited to check out the rosé. I hope that's true. Excellent. And at least Matt does have a number 1, so that's good.
Sauce.
That's
Good
sauce.
job, Maddie. Good job, Maddie.
That's right. So as always, we really encourage our fans that are here. Shoot us a comment. Let us know you're there. Say hi. Say hey. Whatever you want, and we will verbally high five you back at random points throughout the show.
Absolutely.
Since there was the topic of burritos, what kind of burrito do you like, Andrew? If you're the burrito muncher, what is your favorite burrito?
A ver. All right, let's go.
It's most of them, to be honest.
No.
Anyone that's wrapped in a tortilla is my favorite burrito.
We've been lucky enough to discover a car wash at a gas station down the street called Stars and Stripes.
That place is awesome.
Have you had
Yeah.
the Bunker Buster?
Of course, I've had the. Yes.
It's a burrito called the Bunker Buster, which is our go-to.
Good.
It is a carne asada
What is
burrito
it?
with all tacos inside of it.
It
It is
yes.
phenomenal.
Oh,
If you
wow.
compare it to the whole one, like, it's pretty
It's the
impressive.
size of your arm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
The Bunker Buster is the go-to burrito around here. Eric, our other brewer, he tried it today for the first time and tapped out about 2/3 of the way in. So,
If you remember, Society used to have this challenge where you had 10
we still
minutes
do.
to
We still do
great
it, okay.
We still do.
eat a 2-pound burrito and drink a butcher. I think that burrito is harder than the Society challenge.
What'd you say that was in it?
it's a carne asada burrito with 2 rolled tacos inside of it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just
You are
really-
so treated when you get that crunchy rolled taco bite. It's like a game changer. So,
It's-
Colima's, the taco shop down the street from me, does that.
yeah.
They call it the taco Rito.
That's
Yeah.
probably
Taco
my
Rito.
favorite taco shop.
yeah, I've been
I want one of those hard. That sounds awesome.
It's phenomenal. So,
Next show, Brandon, we're sending you one.
Yes, we can arrange it.
And a pint of butcher.
yeah.
I
And you guys-
haven't discussed with you guys what I'm getting you for Christmas. It's definitely going to be some sort of food, by the way.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
Bunker Buster right there.
Tamales!
Yeah.
my stomach's like, no, not food.
So I was trying to explain to somebody right now about the seltzer, and they're like, "Is this wine?" I'm like, "No, it's not wine." he's like, what is this? And I'm like, just drink it, all right? Just drink it.
I've never had a seltzer that reads like wine, so I think you have something kind of special there, and I hope the public receives it the same way my mouth did.
So he
I mean,
just told me he's not a wine drinker, but that he would drink this.
all of that. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a wine drinker either, but
Yeah.
it was. I can't deny its refreshing fruitiness, like
Mm-hmm.
and
And
whether
it's a little different right now because it's probably 60 degrees and dark out. But on a hot day when it's warm out, that's a perfect beverage. Yeah. So,
and
Yeah.
if you could make something 10% that drank that easily, anyways, you understand.
stay tuned for the mojito and the Mai Tai. for sure.
Right.
So,
Very excited for those.
That's awesome. So I was there to pick up these beers that you generously gave us for the show, and also bonus beers because you guys apparently aren't cool with the norm. You just want to go over the top. But I noticed that you have your own canning line, which is a huge fucking advantage right now.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But why the fuck does it only have 5 fill heads? Like that is not usual.
Well, it's for a medium-sized brewery like this. It's probably a pretty standard size.
The canning line itself, but normally you got 4 or 6 or 10. Normally, the fill number of fill lines are an even number.
Yeah.
Well, you never gotten a fight
it's
before,
definitely a little weird on that. It's a cast canning line, and we had actually a very similar canning line at Mission Brewery when we worked there, but an older version. So when we came here to do the walkthrough and check it all out, and we saw that line, we were pretty stoked because we already know how to run that line.
Got it. Okay.
And so we saw that line. Cask is a company out of Canada that makes really reliable stuff, and they've got awesome customer service and really cool support. If anything does happen, the guy just literally hops on FaceTime with us and just walks us through any issues. So, although it is a 5-head, it's like, I mean, it's perfect for our size currently, and we're pretty actually happy with it. So.
That's cool. I'm glad it operates right, which is what matters, in that you can get your thing out. The only other brewery I know of that has an even number is Pariah, that just got a 3-head micro canner, but that's literally because that was what would fit in their brewery.
Inside. Yeah.
They couldn't get a larger canner, but that's it. It just sticks out to me anytime in beer when I see an odd number of thing. Like almost everything in beer is even numbers, whether it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever. Almost everything in beer is even the weights of your grade sacks are every 2 or 110 kilograms. Like it just all is even in your industry, and so the things that are odd numbers just are rare. So,
well, grain sacks can be 25 kilograms. So
yeah, exactly.
That's an odd number for you.
Yes, but not twice.
Yeah,
and it's an even number of pounds because we're fucking in America.
Exactly.
No, that's right. So what I really wanted to know was it a 6-head? And there was this awesome story about how this one can got all fucked up and kicked out the fill head. Anyways, that's all right. It's no big deal.
Now the cast line that we had in Mission was 5 heads as well, and then we also had 2 canning lines running simultaneously side by side. One of them was a twin monkey that could operate as a 5-head or a 10-head filler. And then the other one was a cast 5-head filler. So we had those in the same canning room running side by side. So it's lucky for us. It's a number that we're comfortable with and we've worked with a lot. So it's nice. And it's a company that we've worked with a lot. So.
Yeah.
So 5 passes fills a case and 1 for the operator. 5 passes fills a case and 1 for the operator. That's right.
It never goes that way anyway. You probably grab 4 cans by the time you fill a case.
Absolutely. Canning is far more finicky and wastes so much beer in cans, so much more than the public understands. So if you ever get a chance to watch a canning run at a brewery, you will never see people running around like ants more than when they're trying to get through a really good, like a big run, like a 30 or 40 or 60 barrel run. It never goes in one pass. It's not just turn on the machine, we got cans. It's never like that. It is
no.
It's
here it takes all 3 of us like literally running around with chickens with their heads cut off to make it happen. We luckily we're not open to the public on Mondays and Tuesdays, and that's kind of when we set up for canning runs. And it's just a shit show. There's cans everywhere. There's beer everywhere. There's lids everywhere. It's a nightmare. So,
can you please post a video one day?
Yeah, I mean, you'll hear a lot of cuss words and a lot of like thrown wrenches, but
So what you guys have to do is post a video with the Benny Hill theme song behind it, and that way we can see exactly what's happening. You know,
we'll post it on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah. Thank you.
We got like a bird's eye view, and you'll just see the 3 of us like about to hit each other and shit flying everywhere.
Wait till it grabs a can the wrong way in the seamer and it spits it across the room and it's
that's like
spraying
1 out of every
everywhere.
5.
Yeah, exactly.
If you leave dry, you didn't do it right.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So speaking of equipment and facilities, we already mentioned you took over 32 North. What did you guys do to the equipment, the space, the facility to make it yours?
So immediately we renovated the whole tasting room, and with everything going on with COVID, all the restrictions right now, when we took over, we were in the red tier, but we went to the purple tier pretty quickly. We knew we had to focus on the outdoors. And so we doubled the outdoor capacity from 1,000 square feet to 2,000 square feet.
Oh, wow.
And just kind of reconfigured the whole storage because like outdoors we need some storage for our grain and our dumpster and our trash. And so we were able to build a wall and kind of hide all that and double the tasting room capacity on the outdoors, as well as
Smart.
we were to take over part of the parking lot. The landlord has been super cool and working with us on that. So on the weekend, when we have a little bit of a bigger crowd, we can take over part of the parking lot to get more people in here.
Nice.
And so we put a lot of effort into the tasting room, really making it like a bright, vibrant place. It's a little bit like a darker area with brown and black. It was just kind of more of like a man cave feel, where we really wanted to kind of lighten it up. And so we painted everything and so got a really cool emerald and white color scheme with a lot of green plants. And outdoors, we built some fire pits. We got a bunch of picnic tables. Just really something that where people want to sit down and hang out and drink outside, which has been really cool with the feedback we've gotten on that for the tasting room aspect. And then on the production side, like on the brew house, we've done a lot of changes to really upgrade pretty much every major facility that we would need, or boiler, glycol, CO2, air compressor, just really kind of making it something that can be consistent and productive for what we want to do here.
Nice.
It's always good to replace the chilling system when you take over a brewery.
Yeah.
If there's anything in a brew house that is abused, it's things that make things cold. Cold box compressors, the glycol system, all of that is always overworked. So that was probably a really good move. Let's catch up with
we don't have a full-time mechanic here, and so we all wear multiple hats here, and so we've all kind of learned our cold box, our main bar cold box, our main brewery cold box runs off the same glycol system as all of our tanks, and that thing has got a mind of its own. It's super finicky, and so when our tanks will chill properly, but the cold box won't. And so we've had to learn all the ins and outs of figuring that out and fixing that. And so we've all kind of become really accustomed to wearing, like I said, wearing multiple hats and fixing problems as they arise. And luckily we've, knock on wood, we're kind of smooth sailing currently, but that's never the case for long-term in any brewery, no matter what size or where you're at. So just the fact that we all feel comfortable fixing issues as they arise has been really fun.
Yeah, we've all learned quite a bit here, just fixing most issues. We've probably had almost every issue you can have here so far, and we've learned to fix them.
It's been 2.5 months, and we've had literally a boiler issue, a glycol issue, a CO2 issue, a glycol, like every type of issue you could have with every major infrastructure in the brewery. We've had those issues, and we feel pretty comfortable coming out on the other side of being able to fix them properly.
Nice.
At least you know who to call. You or you.
Yeah.
Let's catch up with our audience. Yes, the rosé seltzer is amazing. Possibly related. We'll let that go. I don't know why we're shouting out California Liz, but thank you. Hi, Carmen. I happen to be wearing your shirt right now.
By the way, Carmen, you're gonna love that rosé. Love it. Love it. Yeah.
Now we have a very important question. Andrew, what was the last burrito you ate before the show?
Today was just a California burrito.
All right.
California burrito.
Cali is always a good play. Always a good play. How many members in the Emboldened crew, and where do you want to see the business this time next year? Wow, a real
question. Wow.
Thank you, Amy.
I love it.
Yeah, currently we're 3 on the production side. It's us 2 and Eric, who was actually one of the brewers here at 32 North.
Excellent.
We've been lucky to keep him on. He's been an awesome contribution to the team. We really enjoy him. So it's the 3 of us that are on the production side, and then we have 3 bartenders currently, and then the founders, which is kind of makes up 4. So we're right about 10 right now. This time next year, we've got a little over 4,000 barrel capacity, and we're hoping that we can max out the capacity as quick as possible in here.
Nice.
We're exploring distribution, and that I think will really help speed up the process between the 2 brands to get us there as quick as possible.
Awesome, man.
Nice. And I just got a live picture from the Emboldened tasting room. apparently they're watching us, you guys. They're watching us right now.
That's awesome. We gotta love that. And technology is rad.
Hi, Ivan.
So Hector, I think Andrew's the type of guy that's hungry as soon as he's done. If he's like me, you finish your first burrito, you're like, damn, I wish I had one more bite.
I'll be like 3 beers in, and I'll be like already talking about what's for lunch. He's like, it is lunch.
That's right.
Second lunch. Sorry.
Liz is demanding Abel explain what is on your shirt, sir. So let's give you a solo view. Wow, that is beautiful.
It's my Christmas space shirt.
That is rad. And it's always good that we can honor.
One day we're going to be on the moon. Yes.
Yes, indeed. One day we will be on the moon.
I'm going to wear this shirt when we do.
Yes. I'll remember that.
Embolden's really big.
I agree.
And Terry is 100% spot on with that right there.
Right. I've never.
Yeah.
I've
Canning days bring out the worst of me for sure. So
I've seen a canning run where only a couple cuss words were yelled, but that's the best I've ever seen. And it
dude,
was
our first day here canning, it was like the smoothest day ever. We're like, this is rad. Like we hit the jackpot. And then 2 days later, when we did our second canning run, everything went wrong. And Eric
flipping tables, yes.
Eric's like, oh, this is not normally. We got spoiled last time. So.
You're like, oh, that's where, right? Yeah, this is what canning's like.
Yeah, exactly.
Great question from Canada. So, like, if it wasn't COVID, what would your capacity be versus the 160-ish capacity you have now?
I actually don't know.
Okay, good answer. Well, you haven't been open in non-COVID.
Yeah, exactly. We've only been open to where we've only serviced the outdoors. And in the outdoors, between the outdoor patio as well as part of the parking lot, we're looking at between 140 to 150. I don't know what we could really realistically fit non-COVID times. We have a pretty big indoor tasting room, just as big as the outdoors. So I think we could realistically probably get to 280, but I don't know for sure.
Do you guys
maybe in 25 years we'll find out?
Do you guys have three bathrooms or two?
Yeah,
we have 2 bathrooms.
So you would be limited to 250.
Okay, yeah. So,
about double.
So the indoor tasting room is actually pretty big between the indoor and outdoor. We've got a really good amount of space, and props to 32 North, but they took over a really big facility, a big warehouse, and utilize the space really well. We've got a really good portion for production, and there's a really good portion for the tasting room capacity, which is nice. So.
Amy Smackman appreciates the plants.
Yeah, we got a lot of it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It stuck out. Like you and Burgeon. It's weird. Like you put some living things inside a warehouse. It really changes the feel a lot.
Yeah.
Burgeon's next level. A lot of greenery. Yeah, we wanted a lot of greenery. Yeah. I mean, it makes you feel nice. Like feels like you're sitting in the garden, and that's like our outdoor area is dubbed the garden. So we're calling it the garden at New Motion for that reason, because it's got a lot of greenery. So.
Nice.
And I agree that, with Amy that you guys definitely changed it enough to make it feel like a different place than it was when it was 32 North. If you were really familiar with 32 North, you would still be like, oh, it's the same bar, it's the same cold box, it's the same bathroom location. But other than that, it's you guys did enough different. You made it your own.
Everything. The bathrooms have been stripped down, and my wife was in here one day, and we were knocking out walls in the bathroom and stripping it down, and we've really turned it into something new. And it's like I said, if you're really familiar with the layout, then it's a very similar layout, but the feel and the vibe of the place is completely different.
Way different, and much more like what I would describe as like clean and modern and sleek, versus 32 North was great. It was fine. It was a fine place, but that was very dark and like library type of feel.
Absolutely.
Reclaimed wood and things like that. So you guys did really good. Carmen's excited that she's going to get to try the rosé soon.
She said, "Take my money." Basically, that's take my money.
Some love from Ron Compton. I'm not sure if you know him, but
we know.
That's right.
Ron's the man.
more support from your family about Andrew being the burrito king. Apparently, Andrew's the burrito king of San Diego.
I feel like there's a burrito stout
I'll take
coming.
that title.
Burrito stout.
A burrito stout might be coming in the future.
Absolutely. So
It's in the works. Yeah.
when
Nice.
I want to open a can and there's 2 rolled tacos inside.
It's gonna be one of the old Minecraft pop tops, so you can get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
when I visited, you had the pizza trolley there. Is that like a permanent thing? Is that rotating? What's your food option?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're really lucky. They're awesome, and they came to us to look for a partnership, and it couldn't have been better timing for us, obviously. And who doesn't love pizza and who doesn't love beer? So it's a really good mix. But yeah, they've been super cool. They literally pull it up and they leave it here 7 days a week, and it allows us to be open whenever we are allowed to be open. But yeah, it's really, really cool. So they've got a little bit of everything. They do salads as well, not just pizza. And the plan is to kind of utilize some different brewing ingredients and make different types of pizza, pair some beers with some pizza. It's kind of a partnership that couldn't have been better. So
Excellent.
We want to open up. We want to open up early.
Yeah.
So if we want to open up early on weekends, they'll be here early as well. That just works out perfect.
And it's awesome little brick oven pizza in the back of it's an old retired Old Town trolley that turned into a pizza oven on wheels, and it's been super cool. We're really
that's awesome.
So that way it gives us the freedom to be able to open.
That's right, man. So Andrew, what's the favorite beer that you've made there? And by the way, just side question before you answer this question: how many fucking Kellys are there in San Diego?
There's a lot.
That's awesome.
I have a big family.
I was gonna say, only a third are here now.
No, that's a lot.
1/10 maybe.
Probably.
That's right. But actually, that is a legit question. What's the favorite beer you've made so far?
I'm gonna say probably the Pilsner so far. I think that's my go-to for most of my shift beers right now.
Those are Kolsch. He's a fan of the Kolsch.
Yeah.
That's rad, man.
The lighter, crisper beers are my favorite.
I'm a big fan, and we'll see what I think of the West Coast when we get to the end of the day. But if your
all the Kellys are checking in right now.
Right, exactly.
They're all like on a family WhatsApp. They're all texting each other right now, like, "Oh, hop on."
That's right.
Was there some type of like Kelly bat signal that just went out? Just now?
Seriously.
So many of us. Charlotte Kelly.
They all know when you
Avengers assemble.
That's awesome. And the funny thing is, the only other Kelly I don't know hasn't showed up yet. So whatever.
Yeah. Where's the twin at?
Maybe it is him.
Might not have the best Wi-Fi down there.
Yeah, don't get me confused for Brian because I have this hat on. All right. So. We can go back to back now. Andrew, you and I can go back to back.
That's awesome. So let's close out discussion of 32 North. You guys have agreed to brew some of that brand. How much of that are you making? Are you making a lot of it? Is it a substantial amount of your brew time? What's that situation?
Honestly, not much. Yeah, so when we took over, every tank was actually full of 32 North stuff. So we finished out a lot of what they had in the tanks. They still had some distribution contracts that they're fulfilling, and so we finished out a lot of what they had in the tanks. Since we've been here, it's now been 2.5 months. We've only brewed 3 beers for them. So not as much as we thought it would be, and maybe a lot of that has to do with a lot of the restrictions going on right now.
Well, I know a lot of their clients were hospitality and restaurants, and
exactly.
these are industries that are massively restricted or shut down completely, especially like the hospitality side.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been, I think, difficult for him, and they've been. a pleasure to work with. They've been really nice and really hospitable and helping with the transition. It's just been tough, I think, just like I said, a lot of their bigger clients, the bigger movers that they had were hospitality groups and the airport, which is obviously seeing a huge decline. So it's tough, I think, for everybody involved on that part. But so I think he thought we'd be doing a little bit more. And I think we thought we'd be doing a little bit more, but realistically, it hasn't been a whole lot.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
But you guys have capacity that should demand of 32 North continue once things come back. You can handle it, theoretically.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, we're hoping we're filling all our tanks with our beer or our products. So that's the main goal. Is I mean, we come, like I said, we both come from a production background where empty tanks don't really make you money. So if we have the capacity to help others, then we want to do it because it benefits both of us. I mean, as a business and as a friend helping another friend. So we're definitely open to that, but the goal is to be at capacity for us as quick as possible. So we want to be doing all of our own products.
And coming from Mission, you have a extensive contract brewing history. So I'm sure you're used to meeting other people's parameters.
For sure.
Yeah, so currently, I mean, we're still helping out with a couple other breweries. I'm here, one other brewery currently, but yeah, I mean, realistically, we're trying to build out our portfolio as quick as we can and really and hit the ground running for our stuff. So
not very many breweries launch with 16 fucking beers of their own, let alone 15 other things that aren't beer.
Yeah, and, it was a fun first 2 months for sure.
I mean, we were brewing 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and it was different. Today,
at the same time, building out, the tasting and painting. And
today was the first day that we've actually rebrewed the same recipe. So
excellent.
Yeah, I mean, so we've been kind of hitting the ground running on just trying to get as much on the board as possible. And like Andrew said to me, we'll be brewing, and like while we're doing a mash fest, we're over there moving stuff around outside and painting outside, and then run back in and start our louder. And just so it's like I said, we definitely all wear multiple hats. And the first couple of weeks, we were brewing, canning, and remodeling and renovating all at the same time. So
that's awesome, man.
Crazy.
Let's get into our number 2s on our short list of the best ciders in San Diego. Let's start with you,
Seltzer.
Brandon. What did I say? I said cider. Seltzers. Let's start with Brandon because he's below me. There you go. We did it again. Anyways, great. Go ahead, sir. Finally.
Man, that joke was so 20 minutes ago.
So I left room on this list for you guys in case you'd make it into it. I'm going to put you right here because I've only had one, but I am just so impressed with the depth of flavor and the boldness of flavor in a seltzer. I mean, come on. Seltzers are mostly drunk because they don't have a ton of flavor. They're just like, to me, they're just kind of, too many people treat it as though it's like the soda pop of the alcoholic world, where it's like, oh, good, we'll just get these young people coming up into drinking age, and they won't even have to like switch over to new tastes like beer, wine, spirits. They'll just keep drinking soda pop. It'll be freaking great. And it is kind of a marketing play for that, but not the way you guys approach it. I mean, we're talking about some really interesting concepts that I can't wait to have more of, actually, after having that one. That was just fantastic. Yeah, I am stoked to come and try more. That's the only reason you're 2. I have a feeling you'll be 1 by the time I have more than one of these, But I am
kind of like a little spoiler. One of the ones that we actually just tapped this week that I think we're all really excited around it. We made a Paloma-inspired hard seltzer. So we've got real grapefruit.
Your entire cocktail approach is amazing. Yeah. And so I've seen the long list of the things that they're going to implement, and I just can't wait. It's a really it's a fresh take on something that there's like 4 or 5 producers that are making up 95% of what's happening. Everyone's copying that and just following it, but you guys aren't, and you're in a position to really do great things. And I can't wait to have more, but I'm floored by the depth of flavor in that great rosé beer. So our cider or kombucha or seltzer.
Yeah. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Or sparkling tea.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll invent a new beverage next week.
It's a great beverage.
Beverage. Yes.
All right, Stella.
There
Yay!
you go.
Endless Summer from the
Yeah.
Carl.
So Carl Strauss, Endless Summer, which is what their seltzer brand is, Endless Summer, but it is Carl Strauss, and it is the key lime, which Jess says is amazing.
Yeah, that's actually my
So-
favorite flavor from those ones.
Yeah,
Is it? Yeah.
one of the brewers that I had hired at Mission, super cool guy named Brian. He actually has since left Carl to go work at Stone. We had hired him. He was from a brewery in the United Kingdom. Super cool guy.
Okay.
He left to go work at Carl, and he dropped us off some of those. And man, they were actually really good. The Pog one was really good. So yeah,
Okay.
the Carl Strauss ones are awesome.
So yeah, this is a 5%, 100 calories, and it is gluten free, guys. So yeah. So
If that's
for
important
those
to you,
that for those
that need
that
it.
need that
There-
stuff,
there's
you go.
a lot of people that need the
Yeah.
gluten free.
Yeah.
Abel, we
Yeah,
covered.
all our seltzers,
Thank you.
Yeah, like, all ours are gluten free as well.
That's
Nice.
rad. Oh, nice, excellent.
Hey.
Abel's chiming in with
Numero
Brandon on
dos.
number 2. So for me, my number 2 is OG40. Now, disclaimer: I haven't had Cosmos. So since I've had
Okay.
the hard seltzers at OG40, the brewer changed. I don't know if they're continuing to make them or not. About a month and a half ago, I saw this crazy spike in our COVID starting to happen, and I crawled back into my cave. So I haven't been anywhere lately. But that being said, OG40s were really in the same vein that I'm looking for. A little Christmas. You're not going to get a real crisp hard cider. It's just or seltzer. It just doesn't happen. But a little bit of crispness so that it's not just sugar. And then their fruit was timid. But I also want to kind of pull in a Stella and give it a tie for number 2, and sneak in a non San Diego seltzer in number 2. The last time I was in Asheville, which was last year it feels like 5 years ago, but it was actually April of 2019. I went to Asheville, and we went to Oscar Blues, and their hard seltzers are fucking other than the lime one. So it's really strange. So like a lot of places hard seltzer, the lime one is the one that's really good. At Oscar Blues, that's the one I would avoid. All the other 3 flavors I had was really good. The lime one was the only one that tasted hot. It was just a weird. Their lime one didn't work out, but the other 3 were great. And again, I think this rings true of most things. When you use real fruit or real fruit extracts, you can taste that, and it doesn't taste weird or fake like the claw. So
Brian, can I ask why you didn't like the lime? Like, was it you don't like lime usually,
No.
or you just didn't like that one in particular?
I didn't like that one, and it's rare
Okay.
for me to not like a lime flavored beverage.
Okay.
Something, whatever. It came off as hot and like
fake.
and fake. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it didn't ring good with me. There was 3 other flavors, so they were very smart. They had a mixed 4-pack of seltzer, back in April of 19, which then was not the norm. Now it is the norm. And while we're talking about mixed packs, shout out to fucking Stone for finally putting 12 different IPAs in a goddamn 12-pack. Take note.
Different IPAs in a 12-pack?
Yes.
That's impressive. That's a lot of work.
Christmas.
That's
So-
like a repackaging, but that's impressive.
I want other breweries to do this. Not that many other breweries have 12 different IPAs.
Right.
Not that 12 Stone IPAs are that different either. But whatever. That's not the point. The point is, for our click a new beer every 20 minutes craft beer culture, a mixed 12-pack of 12 different beers is a great idea. So steal that idea from Stone, everybody else, please.
Except for the production guy. I think the production guy and the canning guy probably didn't.
They probably hate it, dude.
Oh, yeah. The
Right,
repack
one,
team, like, paid you for buying that.
two,
Yeah.
Just the brewing schedule to keep us all fresh.
the extra labor on a mixed 12-pack, I can imagine is pretty big. But
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah,
before-
that's frustrating. That.
before we jump into our what we drank before the show, let's catch up with the audience. The unicorn is next, so hopefully we will share this sentiment here. I guess the Kelly symbol is beer. That works out pretty good.
Can I get that bottle?
That's a good one.
Like the underpants gnome.
Thank
Number 2 is to Matt. Amy, thank you for chiming in. I have heard from a few people that Second Chances was really good. I haven't had a chance to try it, but
So
Yep.
one of
I
my
will
favorites
sometime soon.
recently was
I'll drop some off.
Thornwood
okay.
actually is doing their seltzers now.
Oh man,
They have this ginger seltzer that they did. It's amazing.
it's so good. So
All right, cool.
yeah, they gave us some of that. We did an industry night here right before we opened, and they brought some of the ginger hard seltzer. It's probably actually the best I've ever tried from anyone.
Whoa.
Wow, okay.
That's
I love ginger.
High praise. That's high praise.
It's ginger lime. It almost tastes like a mule, like a Moscow mule. Oh man, it was so good. So
Nice.
That's awesome. That's a ringing endorsement.
Yeah.
And then the other Brandon on the show, our fan, loves Palomas. I agree. Palomas
Wait,
are
that Paloma's out now? Like, I
yeah,
can just
so
go
we
and
have
get
it. We have it in the tasting room right now. Currently, there's no plans to can it, but we're kind of
We've
still.
talked about
We've
it.
talked about it for sure. So,
It's pretty good.
Growler. Is there
we're
any way that I
serving
can
it here. I mean, we're doing pints to go, but
Carrier
actually
pigeon.
here we're serving it with a salted rim, like you would traditional cocktail. So a salted rim, it's been awesome. So
could that rim have tagine?
that's the other plan. So
Alright.
we have salted rims and tahini rims. So
Excellent.
Wait,
the
does it have chamoy too? There's chamoy in there, or
We're-
just?
we're-
don't have
totally
it here, but you're welcome to bring your own bottle.
I was
Okay.
gonna say,
Oh,
Stella,
I carry
Stella,
one.
yeah,
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 don't
I
worry,
carry one in
Stella.
my purse. I carry one in my purse at all
Yeah.
times. But I'm just
Oh,
asking.
you're trying to share with us. So
Ivan, grab me one.
Yeah.
Ivan, grab me one to go, por favor. Gracias, amigo. Gracias.
you can come in early tomorrow and we'll drink them. So.
I have this thing called a day job. I can't.
It's so stupid. So, Brandon, I agree they should, but this year they did do a mixed 4-pack for the Grand Prix. I hope you had a chance to try that. It was a great idea to give us the feel of Grand Prix at home. But if they could do those freaking like 8-ounce cans with a 12-pack of different Speedway variants,
That'd be pretty rad.
that would be a
Never
weekly
enough.
purchase. Yes, right? It's never enough. Exactly.
I get it.
The Hawaiian
Hey,
Speedway
hey,
Stout that
I-
they did probably 7 years ago was the best. Yeah.
I can't agree,
Okay.
but that's okay.
Hey, a Speedway Grand Prix at home is the safest Speedway Grand Prix you could ever have.
Yes,
You know what I
indeed.
mean?
Speedway is always safer at home. It is. It's not okay to drink one Speedway and drive. It's not.
It's not responsible. No.
No. So we're jumping into what we drank, which is a very complicated segment where we talk about the beer that we had before we got on the air. Let's start with Abel, sir. How about you? What was the last beer you had, sir, before you joined us?
So, Beechwood came by, the Brewery Society. They dropped off a bunch of beers for
Bragger.
us.
Nice.
Yes. And this is probably either going to be my newest #1 IPA or it's very up there with the #1.
Okay.
It's the Hop Anonymous. I mean, not Hop Anonymous, but Beechwood Hoppernicus.
Yes.
Copernicus.
It is a
Rad.
double IPA with Galaxy, Comic, Mosaic, Citra, Millennium, and Equinox.
Wow.
Sounds like a winner.
It drank. No, seriously, I drank this and it feels like it's like a 7.5. Like it almost feels like a pupil, or like just like a very
Oh, okay.
citrusy kind of beer, very flow, a lot of like dankness to it, a little good in mouthfeel. It's a 10%. This is an AB for
Wow.
smuggler. I mean, being a double, like you drink it, you don't think it's a 10%.
Yeah.
Love
It's
it.
a lot of hot flavors to it. It like so much. It's a party in your mouth, bro.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's like if James Brown was in a can, this be it right here.
Oh my god.
So I mean,
So Beechwood's good at making IPAs. The next thing you're gonna tell me is that Pete Sport's good too.
no,
Right?
not yet.
Who knew?
But
Really awesome.
that's what I have, and I went out and got a 4-pack, and somebody owes me a 4-pack, so I told them to buy me this, and so right now I bought in a lot. I might bring you some guys for next week's show.
I'm
Not
okay.
Not
with
Cody
that.
and Andrew. Sorry, you're on.
Oh,
You're on
man.
You can drop them off.
I got all the fun.
We won't be on the show, but you can drop it off for sure.
All right, there you go.
They will still.
Just stream the show in the bar, and I'll bring it by for you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, lady, what did you have before the show?
So I was fortunate enough to get a bottle of this. So this is
What
cerveza.
the? What the? I did it again.
Hey.
I'm so sorry. Wrong button. This
It's,
button.
Fauna Flecha Azul.
Wow.
It is a Citra Pale Ale from Mexicali. One of my coworkers is from Mexicali, so he brought me a couple of Fauna beers, but he brought me a whole growler of the beer that they put out for Day of the Dead. I shared that here at the bar, and it was delicious. It had, we drank the whole thing. Friend, we did.
Excellent.
But anyway, this is delicious, by the way, and I wish we could get it here a lot easier, but I'll try to get some more and share it with you guys, but probably not going to happen because they only sell it down there. So
yes,
sorry guys.
But it's okay.
Get back, Chevis.
Someday we'll get back on it.
When I can cross the border with no problems. Yes, it's back.
Yeah, it's not recommended right now. Anyways, it's also really funny that like Mexico's like, no, don't come.
Yeah.
Although the sanitation down there is crazy. Like you feel safer down there than you do here, which is just insane.
That's bottling. Yes,
but yeah. So,
Mr. Hernandez.
I had a very special beer. I had my last bottle of a beer I got in 2016. It's called the Urchin, and it was released in conjunction with a really great effort that Brian does, the SD Beer Food Drive for the holidays, and it's a cranberry sour, one barrel aged. Held up really great, tasted fantastic. The wine tannins were still there. It was not super fruity, but all of the funk that I'm so used to from working at Society for so long was just wow. It took me back to being in that barrel room, and it was really great.
Yeah,
that's awesome, and it's always awesome. It's always rewarding when you save a beer for 5 years and somehow that beer brings you back to that time when you bought it. It just really displays the excellence of that product. I have so many Society sours in my closet, and every time I pull one out, they just are still extreme high quality, and the funk and the acidity just continues to slowly gain prevalence. So if you've got any of those Society sours in your closet, pull them out. They're drinking great right now. I'm sure you do, Mr. Abel. I would hope so.
Especially get rid of that quick.
Yes, right. Cody, how about you? What was the last beer you drank before you joined us?
We just actually tapped a new pale ale probably about 2 hours ago.
Excellent.
I enjoyed it. It's called Spruce Willis. It's
yes, good name.
It's a spruce dip infused pale ale with American pale ale, really kind of classic, true to style pale ale with Centennial Cascade. Just kind of the perfect beer to sit around a fire and drink. So.
Right.
Yeah. Now, did you bring that beer out now over the holidays? Because Die Hard's a holiday movie. Is that?
Absolutely.
It's not a holiday movie. It's not a holiday movie. It's not a holiday movie.
Die Hard and Gremlins are holiday movies.
They're not
right?
holiday movies. They're not holiday movies.
If the stay-at-home orders don't go into effect until Monday or so, we're planning on this weekend showing Die Hard on rerun while everybody enjoys this fresh tap. So
yes, show the movie, but it's not a holiday movie. Go for it, guys. Go for it.
Oh man, it is such a great argument. How about you, Andrew?
The Pilsner, actually.
Excellent.
Right before we started again. So.
Nice.
No, that's cool.
And I was telling Andrew when I had the Pilsner the other day, I'm like, you're right there with the Eris at Society. It's up there.
It's
really
good.
I would put them side by side and go against
Big
each other.
compliment.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, but it doesn't mean much for me. You got to get it from Teddy or Smaltz. You know, it's like,
You can't share it, man. Come on.
I told him though, and Smaltz says he's going to run over there and get some.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Tyler, who used to be the head brewer at Bitter Brothers and now works at Athletic, raved about it as well. Indeed, at Coronado. But he was raving about it in social medias as well. I drank my last Catch Me Coastin', and if anyone's keeping track, that's 61 of these amazing fucking West Coast beers I drank this year. way too much. This one I held on to way too long. Normally I'm not an over 60-day IPA guy, but this one held up fine. And
sometimes you gotta though. Sometimes you gotta. So it happens.
Sometimes there's 85 cans in your beer fridge and you don't notice that there's one last fucking Catch Me Coastin' in the back corner. But shout out to
me often. Like I'll open my fridge and I'll see like a little one. I tucked it away in the corner so my wife didn't catch it, and then I forget about it. And I'm like, fuck! Like why didn't I drink that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
right. It's been a long time, and I think the last beer I drank that much of in a year was Ponto. But it's been a long time since I had a beer that really just caught my palate so well that I just kept buying and kept buying and kept buying and kept buying. And then like friends started dropping off 4-packs because they heard I drank 25, and then it was 35. It's just crazy. So
have you tried Secret Swamis yet?
Bomb
really
dot fucking calm.
It's so good.
It's so good. So they took Swami's and they added Vic's Secret. Wow.
It's legit. We've one of our buddies was a brewer over at Fort. He dropped some off last week. Oh man, it's a treat.
I agree with that. If you haven't got it, go get it right now. That's a great beer. Now we're not drinking beer though. Right now, we're drinking hard sparkling green tea. We'll make Brandon model for us right now. Give us the color, similar to the rosé in color, but more in the from the pomegranate, obviously. Yes, exactly. Look at how. Hey, you can almost read unicorn.
I think that says unicorn. I don't know.
So. I wrote it with a Sharpie on a wet can and then put it in a bag immediately.
I wrote it on the top of the pack check.
Yes.
I feel like
Ryan over on that for sure.
So it's all right.
I feel like I'm Ralphie from Christmas Story. Like, drink your Ovaltine. Like what the fuck?
So why don't you tell us what's in this beverage, since it's definitely not beer.
So kind of like I said earlier, the whole thought behind New Motion and how New Motion really kind of took shape was everything non-beer. And so the goal was hard kombucha and then hard sparkling tea. And when Kyle and Andy approached me about and let me try some of the product, it was definitely different than anything I had tried before. And so this was one of the ones that they really wanted to pursue, this flavor combination. And Andrew and Eric and I kind of took that as a challenge to try to make it better than what they had done. Not like a knock on them at all, but we just wanted to.
With our experience.
Yeah, with our experience. Yeah.
Hopefully the professionals they hired could elevate it.
Yeah, and so we wanted to take it and make it as good as we could make it. I still think that we probably have some room for improvement, but we're really stoked on the first go around. So this is a green tea with pomegranate, blackberry, cinnamon, and vanilla. The feedback that we've gotten, I think the balance, and this was a flavor profile that Kyle and Andy really loved with the cinnamon, which was something that really was kind of a weird concept to me when they first talked about it, and then once we made it, I fell in love with it instantly. So it's so different than anything that I've tried, and the fact that it's 5.5%, it drinks like it's non-alcoholic.
Yeah,
and it's like the flavor combo of the pomegranate, the blackberry, the vanilla is kind of there hidden, but the cinnamon is kind of the star of the show for me, which I'm really stoked on.
Right on.
What the fuck? Who puts pomegranate, cinnamon, and vanilla and green tea together and comes up with this crazy This is a very balanced beverage, and I'm a huge green iced tea drinker, so it has a massive tea presence. Like I didn't expect with the flavors that you were talking about that I was also going to be able to tell that it was tea.
The green tea is really cool. I mean, this was our first time ever making anything like this. So that's why I think that we can get better, just because, I mean, the first go around is usually always a little bit rough around the edges, but to get the feedback that we've gotten from it so far, being the first time that we made it, has been really cool. Since our grand opening, this has been our number 2 seller across the board on draft and in cans. The only thing beating it right now is our Hazy Double IPA, but this has been a huge hit amongst beer drinkers and non-beer drinkers, which has been awesome. So
I hate tea. This is really good.
Yeah, this is really good.
I mean, I don't know what else I can say it as a compliment. I really dislike tea. That combination sounds wacko to me.
That's what I was getting at. Like, what the fuck?
And it tastes really, really good. And like you're saying, first draft. Wow, I can't wait to see you when you refine it and get it like all locked in. But I do like how the cinnamon runs through it. Kind of brings everything together in its own way and brings that earthiness in there. Yeah. That could be the tea as well, but just overall, it's a really balanced drink.
It's got a lot of cool cinnamon without feeling like too holiday-like to me, which is something I usually get from cinnamon. I feel like a holiday drink, where I feel like this doesn't like taste too holiday, because I think the 2 fruit choices make it a little bit more balanced. So this is one that we plan to go into the market with on distribution in cans, because of the feedback we've gotten and just how drinkable it is. So,
what about all your competitors who are making the exact same drink? Oh wait.
Yeah. Right. Oh my God, that's so. The greatest thing that you're bringing to the table with this beverage is something completely unique, and I don't remember which Kelly it was, but some Kelly said that we were going to be very impressed with this beverage, and they
Kelly number 14.
Okay, and they, because I don't remember which one, was very right. This incredibly unique, super stands out is something that I think has a potential to bring you business just because you have something that's this unique, man. Very impressed. There's no tannins from the tea that are present in the finish. Wow, dude. Wow. Congrats on bringing something very unexpected to my mouth. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's funny. We've had some potential distributors come and try it, and all of them were like, what the fuck? Like, this was so different than what we thought we were going to taste, and they're all so pleasantly surprised. So, yeah, the feedback we've gotten has been through the roof, which we're really, really excited about.
That's right, man. Let's catch up with the fans a little bit. The Bobinos got the Grand Prix 4-pack. I wish I did. I missed out on it, but that's rad. I'm glad it was enjoyable. Before the show, Amplified Stratocaster. I really hope Amplified finds a partnership that works for them, but we'll cover a little more of that in the news.
That beer is one of my favorites, the Stratocaster.
Absolutely.
Best use of Strata I've ever tried with a Strata beer, for sure.
Very crushable for almost 8% IPA. Yes, Amy, always safer at home for Speedway.
It's a lot of emojis on that.
Right? It is. But, you know, anytime
again.
Anytime you're drinking anything over 12%, the safest place is at your destination, not at where you're leaving.
Yeah.
So 2 days ago, she had a South Park, Coach. I hope South Park recovers from the fire that happened in their kitchen that we covered last week quickly. Shout out to them. And
so let me mention the event.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
Now. Yeah.
Go ahead. Since you're at Ales.
So right now they're doing an event where they have 7 different beers from South Park, and they bought these all, and they're actually donating $5 from each pint that you buy to their GoFundMe. Yeah, it's massive, and that's through next Tuesday. So you guys can come in, and
Hopefully.
Their plan, well, their plan is, exactly, right? Exactly, yeah. They were hoping to sell out of the kegs and have to purchase more because they do know that there is more that they can purchase. I'm saying it right now. Yes, I'm saying it right now.
Hey, I bought 7 pints last night. So
did you buy 7 pints?
I did my part.
We're trying to do our part. I was here the first night.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Could have been 8.
So if you can make it out to Ale Tales and help support the crews over at Hamilton's and South Park, they would really appreciate it. They were all here on Tuesday night, so it was really, really rad. So please come out and support them and support Ale Tales while we still can.
Absolutely.
While we still can.
While we still can, exactly. Who knows?
Yeah.
The current
Yeah.
situation
You're
with
down there
COVID
right
is.
now.
Yeah.
we're
They're up until 10, bro. You got time.
Yeah, you've got
I'll
time.
be here. I'll be here.
One thing for sure, if you're a fan of drinking or eating at a brewery, your time is very short.
Very limited. Yeah.
Like, if you are like the type of person that has to get one more trip into your favorite local, go tomorrow.
Yeah.
And hope there's a Saturday. We'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Society tomorrow from 10 to 6.
For sure.
unfortunately, the shutdowns are coming, and we're going to be back to go only. So just support your local the best you can, and we'll have more details on all that stuff will be coming out in the next 3 or 4 days. It's all about hospital capacity, and those things are a little ambiguous at the moment as far as when we'll hit the trigger point. So just stay informed, watch the news, but your time is short. If you are the type of person that really enjoys drinking at your local brewery, your time is short. So let's move on. Mexicali is definitely putting out some great craft beer recently.
For like
the last 5 or 6 years, they've really been coming up, and most importantly for our palates here in America, their quality has really risen very, very quickly as an overall industry. So kudos to the leaders in that, Fauna being one of them that you mentioned that we drank earlier.
I gotta bring back Estelas Cheves, guys.
You do
bring back. Well, but Insurgentes in Tijuana. I mean, Mexicali, like we have Amante. Thing. We have we have a bunch of different breweries down there, and it's just
Ensenada has a lot.
Ensenada has a lot. Yeah, Tijuana has a lot. Just Mexico in particular, which is why I was doing Estelas Cheves to try to bring some of those beers over here. But circumstances are not on our side right now, but they will be soon enough. Yeah, they will be.
The good news is, while we are all dealing with a big surge of the virus, unfortunately, sometime in the next 6 or 7 months, there is actually a light at the end of the tunnel. There should be vaccines available for the public by like next summer. If you're a frontline worker, obviously that timeline is very shortened for you. It might even be this year for some frontline workers. So hopefully the data, as it's reviewed right before this vaccine is supposed to be released in a week, is actually what has been released in the press, and we can move forward, and that it's safe, and that we can start looking forward to hugging our friends again. I mean, which would be amazing if that happened next year. So
that'd be so nice.
It would be. It'd be really
so
good.
Nice.
I
want to hug this guy.
Absolutely.
I know the world is safe when I can finally hug this guy.
Right?
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
I'm going to
shower and everything.
When Brandon's doctors give us permission to hug him, we know it's safe.
Then it's
for
good.
Sure. That's
then
right.
it's good.
Brandon gave me a ton of awesome feedback in email, and so I can't wait to have him here so I can give him a hug too.
Yeah.
So, Sean,
I'm so glad I'm so glad that went over good. I had so much fun tasting through those beers, and I'm just like, let me really think about this. I couldn't even just rush through them. I just had to have them individually and really enjoy them. So
I appreciate it.
That's rad. I don't hate Sean because he's drinking 805.
I don't either.
What?
I mean, unless he's on the 805.
Yeah, unless you're. You should be supporting your fellow Kelly, but outside of that, it's okay. While 805 is kind of looked down upon, as long as you don't have big flags hanging off your lifted truck, I'm not upset. It's okay. For the record, Babino, it's Steve's tea that I'm a fanboy of, but I am a huge fanboy. Yeah. And then if we
don't
like
Snapple, I mean, it's made from the best stuff on earth.
It is not.
What are you, Wendy the Snapple lady? You turn into Wendy the Snapple lady all of a sudden?
Right?
Drink Snapple.
And if we're talking about regular iced tea, then it's Tejava for me, and that's just the best one there is. So there you go. There's my tea hour. Yes, Brandon, go to Half Door, get your last visit in if you're a fan of that. We love Half Door too, so hopefully that's good. Follow Hector's advice. This is great advice.
Hector.
But there's some truth there. There's
buy
low.
He always speaks the truth.
Right?
I only have like 3 rolls left. I need some. Don't buy like this.
So
I got paper towels, not toilet paper, and I don't want to do that. So.
Again, is this why we don't have labels on the can? Is that what you're using it for right now? Are you using the labels?
Way better. I pulled it right out of the fridge so there's condensation. It's like those moist ice. So.
Oh my god, that's great. Jordan, thanks for joining us from all the way up in America's Hat. Have a great night. Take care of the kid. We appreciate your presence, man. It was great. So before we jump into the news and our march out of here, for you guys, what you're a couple months in, but what excites you the most about this new opportunity and bringing this new, amazingly wide portfolio to San Diego?
I think you just said it, is the opportunity to have such a wide portfolio. Realistically, I mean, like I said earlier, I love to cook and I love like experimenting with flavors, and I know that's part of what gets people into home brewing is just trying new and different things. And so us having that same background of coming from home brewing and just being able to experiment with so many different flavors has been so fun. Not being pigeonholed by any one type of category, any one type of beer, and just being able to have the freedom to do what we want to do has been really, really fun. So that's what really excites me the most, that we have the freedom to do stuff that we've been looking forward to and get to share that. I mean, recently we just did a collaboration with Harlan Brewing Company that's a stout. We finished at a little over 14% with banana, vanilla wafers, cacao nibs, and cocoa powder. And it just tastes like banana dessert. And to have like that freedom.
I will attest to that. It was really, really good.
Yeah, and to have that freedom to do something like that we wouldn't have been able to do in a bigger production brewery is what makes it really fun. I mean, that's what I'm enjoying the most. And I mean, we've already done now a few different pastry stouts that are coming out and in the tank right now that just have that fun, that, like I said, that freedom to.
I just enjoy working with this guy.
That's great.
So,
I mean,
how much did he pay you for that?
Yeah, seriously.
I bought No, I mean, like we said earlier, we're family, and so it's for us. It's awesome. Like, and Erica's kind of slid right into it with us. The three of us get along so great. So I mean, to be in a smaller team when we left Mission, there's 41 of us in the production side. So to be in a smaller team where we all the three of us go grab lunch together every day and have build that bond, it has been so fun. So yeah.
That's just saying, awesome. You could collab on a beer with the Indie Beer Show.
Yeah, I mean,
beverage.
You could do that, or any beverage, or with Society, or with Mujeres. I mean, or with San Diego Beer.news.
But the Indie Beer Show would be really.
You could do the Indie Beer Show too. Yeah.
We've done now 3 different collaborations. We did one with his brother that was.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
We did one there and one at his spot and one here, and both of them. So we did kind of the same beer, but. We did a Hazy Ipa with Brian at his place with the same exact hops that we did a West Coast IPA here.
Creative Creature.
Yeah, Creative Creature. Sorry. Creative Creature, we did. It was a 7% Hazy Ipa with Galaxy and Centennial, and then we did the West Coast version here. So both same ABV, same hops, same additions, just one hazy, one West Coast.
One was bitter.
Yeah, and then we did one with Ryan Brooks with South Norte Brewing Company that the feedback has been through the roof on that one. We've had people telling us, so we did a Horchata Golden Milk Stout that we've had people telling us is the best golden stout that they've tried, which is awesome because we've gotten this, we're super humbled by that because Brooks is somebody that we both look up to so much.
Totally.
So to have that ability to brew with him and brew something that is so different and unique and something that, it was the first golden stout that we've brewed, and we were both so pumped on the outcome. And
nice.
So the whole process on that brew was a lot of fun.
That's
like I said, just the freedom. The freedom is what really excites us.
Cool.
Well, building off of Abel, what he said, I think that our collaboration brew that we will do as an Indie Beer Show with you guys should be called In-Person Hugs.
Yeah. That's actually.
I mean, honestly, the best collaborations come when the name is made before. We have a collaboration in the works with Gravity Heights, and the name is so good that we can't give it away yet. We don't even know what style it's going to be. But the name is so good that it's going to be awesome.
If the name is so good you can't say it publicly, you know you got something. That's right.
Well, put us in your calendar. Figure out when we can do this, and
let's do it for sure.
We'll get there.
Excellent.
Yeah, I like that, Brandon. I think we should make that a series, like in-person hug series.
Yes.
And just have a bunch of different beers to different breweries.
It'll be a dual. It'll be a dual hop series. So it's hops hugging each other throughout the series. That's good. We got it. Got it. We'll don't let any more intellectual property go out into the public area. We are. You guys again, just because you're awesome, send us a fourth beer. We always cap it at 4 on the show.
Thank you.
I love this. You actually sent us 6 beers, but we're drinking 4. So it's rewriting history. Get that in the frame. Juicy West Coast IPA is what it says on the can. Give us a backstory.
Yeah.
What's in it, and then let me tell you how fucking awesome it is.
So this was the first beer that we brewed for ourselves. This was batch number 1 for Emboldened. So
wow.
This is probably the beer that I've been most excited about. It features Nelson and Big Secret. What you guys are tasting, unfortunately, is probably been in the can for about a month or so. So, like, fresh, right off the tap, it's been by far my favorite beer. And it's something that, when we first tapped it, it was my favorite IPA that we've ever brewed, that I've ever brewed. And so, just the excitement behind it for me personally. I know it hasn't among everybody here. Everybody kind of has their own favorite beer that we've tapped so far among the staff. Like some people really like the Kolsch or the Pilsner or the Hazy Double. But for me, this is still my go-to beer and something that I'm really stoked on. We said it's fresh. It's so good. It features Nelson and Big Secret, and Nelson's my all-time favorite hop. So, it's got the soft spot.
Fuck San Diego, go get this beer.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Good.
Huge.
It's that blend of juicy, hazy IPAs with that little lighter body, drier body. And
we wanted some bitterness still. We didn't want to do a hazy IPA. We didn't want to do a West Coast IPA. We kind of wanted to go right in the middle. So we wanted something that had that juice characteristic, but also had a slight bitterness to it still, so you still know it's an IPA. That was kind of why we picked this beer to send you guys, because the Hazy Double IPA has actually been our number 1 seller, but this is still my favorite.
Okay.
And so that's why I wanted you guys to have this one, because this one is something that I'm super excited about and still really.
If I had a day off, I would go drink this.
So there is this rare thing that happens with hops when you hit the right combination and the right dosing levels. And some people think that this is a bad descriptor, but for me it's a very positive descriptor, is when the hop profile comes off as diesel-y, like kind of reaching for a fuel or exhaust type of flavor, but it's really just a richness and a dankness of the hop profile. Especially happens often with Vic Secret and Nelson if you have them hopped in a very high dosage. This beer brings both of those type of qualities to the table for me. Fucking love it.
Yeah,
and I will definitely be back for more. This,
we just rebrewed it again today.
I was gonna say, when's batch 2? Because I need to contrast and compare.
Yeah, because that was, like I said, we brewed that. That was the first beer that we brewed here. So now it's still, like you said earlier, it's more than 60 days is kind of the timeline for me on an IPA, and we're probably getting close to that. And so batch 2 that we just brewed today will be ready in about 2.5 weeks, and that one is what I'm really excited about, because that'll be the first one we really hit the market with. This was kind of more for the tasting room on the soft opening than the grand opening, and to have some on draft. Where now once we hit the market with the fresh batch, I'm really excited about that.
And for this second batch also, we have the whole brew house dialed in now.
Yeah,
we're just able to hit all our numbers way better, and
I mean, we took over this place on September 14th, and we brewed that beer on September 17th. So we're here for 3 days, and we brewed that beer. So
that is delicious. It is delicious.
What I love about it is it has all the contemporary flavors that people who claim to love IPAs nowadays enjoy it. But it has the bitterness and the finish that people who really like IPAs from all the entire, going back to 10 years ago, 12 years ago, will still very much appreciate. So it's like for all fans of IPA, bringing them all together. Hopefully this kind of like thing that can cross people over from just being into hazies to being into, the real expression of IPA that San Diego and Southern California is so well known for.
Yeah, that's the plan for sure with that one.
That was why we on the label we purposely wanted it to say Juicy West Coast, because we wanted to kind of be that crossover beer between a hazy and between a West Coast. We wanted it right in the middle, where people that like a hazy that will like it, and people that like West Coast will like it. So.
Or they'll learn to like it.
Yeah.
Where's mine? My can's empty. I don't know what happened. Anyways, only beer I finished on the show. Thank you. While we were talking about it for what was that, 4 minutes? I downed it. It is very, very enjoyable. And seriously, I will be by for some more this weekend. It's great. Well, no, I'm gonna wait for batch 2. I'll wait for batch 2.
That's me rewriting history.
Yes. Great, and I really enjoy these type of beers where someone is honoring their past but also honoring the present market. I mean, you have to do both. You have to do both, especially being a newcomer to the scene. You got to.
I think that was the whole kind of background that we have with Embolden, is that we want to honor the beers before us that we all fell in love with. I mean, we all fell in love with Sculpin. We all fell in love with those type of beers that really kind of gave us that love for craft beer. We want to honor those, but have our personal spin on it. And
but back away from the bitterness that tastes like you're eating a straight aspirin. No, you did really good. You did really good. So clearly there was no first wort hops in this beer.
This was all local dry hop only.
Clearly. Yeah, it's awesome, man. Well, that brings us to the San Diego beer news, and it's Brandon's time to talk and my time to shut up. Mr. Hernandez, what the fuck is going on in San Diego beer currently, sir?
There's quite a bit going on. A lot of big news. So 27-year-old brewery, San Marcos Brewery, you'll never guess where it's located or was located, has gone out of business. They decided that COVID pandemic restrictions are too much, and they just had to call it quits. It's one of those breweries that came around at the same time about Callahan's, San Diego Brewing Company, a place like that, and kind of stayed the same. They were kind of in a time capsule where they had this line of beers, the color spectrum, and they offered it, and they would add some things here and there all the time. But at the same time, it remained much as it was in the beginning throughout its 27-year-old run. And a lot of people who got into beer very early on continued to appreciate for that, and the fact that it was one of the early pioneers. They didn't necessarily do. It wasn't that they did nothing. There was one point about 4 years ago where they tried to do a thing called Great Goats, where they got their beer into bottles, got it off to liquor stores, and got into the market. But it really didn't go anywhere from there.
It didn't latch.
Exactly, but at the same time, they didn't really put a ton of effort into that either. They were just kind of, we opened, we have beer, people keep coming here and drinking beer and enjoying it. That's good enough for us. And then a pandemic comes and it really thins out the herd. And unfortunately, they were one of the places that were impacted by it the most. And there's so many breweries in San Marcos, in North County, that operating under these restrictions that people are having to operate under became just too much, and they decided they had to go out of business. But it was a 27-year-old brewery that made an impact early, continued to bring people in, and a lot of people will miss it. So that's unfortunate news, but they decided to go out. And then the following week, Amplified Ale Works, which is based in PB and was born in PB, but extended its brewing capabilities through the Brewing Igniter program in Miramar, H.G. Fenton's lease to brew model. They decided that after 5 years there, they were going to go ahead and vacate that. It's not working for them because they have to, like everybody else, cut back so that they can continue the viability of the venues they have, which are 2 in PB, 1 in the East Village. Now, this one is important for one of our show hosts, in particular, Abel, who got his start in the industry there, right?
Yes, that's my first brew job.
And
So
that is a big deal in itself.
we actually used to work right up the road from the East Village location, or right down the road. We would go there at least once or twice a week. I love Amplified, so I hope
It's fantastic beers and a lot of innovation happened. They had a barrel program that was in that, well, they have for now until they vacate, a barrel program there that made great beers, a lot of great things that occurred there. But unfortunately, again, the pandemic, a lot of hospitality venues are at the heart of what the Amplified does, and therefore they have to make hard decisions. And this leaves them without a brewing facility. So what they're going to be doing is looking into alternating proprietorships with other breweries that maybe aren't brewing to their fullest potential, and therefore can let Jeff Campbell and the crew come in there and make their beers. And they will not be canning. They will not be getting out to market. They will be making their keg beers so they can have house beers to go to their venues and PB and Eastville. So we'll see how that works out. But of course, we're all hoping good thing for them.
And so unfortunately, they had a great plan. They were about to purchase and build out a facility in Lemon Grove that we talked about earlier in the year. But unfortunately, COVID canceled that shit on them too.
Yeah.
And so I'm very hopeful that there is someone listening or not that has the capacity in their brewery that recognizes Amplified's contribution to San Diego beer scene overall, works out a deal with them, and can keep this brand alive until we can get to the what our governor calls the light at the end of the tunnel, where the public is vaccinated and we can get back to normal business. When unfortunately a lot of Amplified sales was within their own restaurant group.
Yeah.
And then when you take away 75% of the restaurant traffic, it hurts a business on every front. So I got my fingers crossed. Amplified is a brand that needs to survive in San Diego.
Yeah.
I
agree.
really
they're up there with one of my favorites for sure. I mean, like I said, we used to go to the East Village location all the time, and the beers are top quality. The food's awesome. I hope they make it through this for sure. So
absolutely.
Well,
so fingers crossed.
Amplified, one of their biggest strengths, being in Pacific Beach, was the fact that they brought so many people who just happened upon that venue because they were at the beach. Where are we going? Oh yeah, let's go to this place, and then discovered craft beer. Whether it was Amplified craft beers or the guest taps they had, I know that they've turned so many people on to craft beer in San Diego County, be it locals or tourists. So I am with you. I know there will be people who realize their contribution and will want to work with them. I have a lot of faith in that. And, the ownership there, the staff there, the people who work there, just great people all around. Always an inviting place and such a legit theme. A lot of people would go, what's your thematic? What's your motif? I don't know. We're kind of like this thing and that thing together. Not Amplified. Like, you walk into Amplified, you're like, these people like live music.
Yeah.
And every single fiber of this place is devoted to that, plus a legitimate love of craft beer in all forms. So, we'll think the best, but I think they're going to be all right, and definitely people respect
Let's hope
them.
so. Yeah.
So let's switch over to some good news.
Yes.
Please.
I had to get that out of the way, but so
Of course.
California Wild Ales, they were on our show recently. Sereno Valley, the only sour house in San Diego where it's just all sour wild beers. They are taking over the old Two Roots Brewing satellite tasting room in Ocean Beach. So
talk about
that stretch. Oh, tell me about it. Yeah, them and Kilowatt are like you could literally throw something. You wouldn't, because they're nice people at Kilowatt, and you would hit the Kilowatt tasting room. But
as long as that rock is light lit up.
Yes.
As long as there's lights on that rock.
A very bright LED rock.
It's so OB. Those places are so OB. They're just out there, different avant-garde, and Culture Brewing's tasting room there, which is right up the block, was taken over by Novo Brewing over in Chula Vista, and they brought this whole color palette that's like vibrant and all these different kinds of beers and kombuchas. very new motion Embolden, really. And it just fits. Everything in there is starting to really fit in a legitimate way, and that's very cool. So good for them. We'll see how that works out for them, but they hope to open sooner or later, but they're going to expedite it as best they can. Another place that is about to open as soon as the ABC approves it, which could happen like any second now.
I'm excited.
Apparently, Estella's excited.
Well, she and the rest of North Park and the surrounding areas are very excited. Epic Brewing coming back to North Park on a pop-up basis.
Yes.
That will take them hopefully out to the spring. Taking over Waypoint Public, that old restaurant that had 30 taps. And it's all going to be Epic beer. Very, very cool. They have the banner ready to go and everything. They're just waiting for the approval. After they get the approval, they have to kind of wait around to be able to open anything outdoors. It looks like that'll probably be on hold for a little bit. But
yeah,
the good thing is they've got everything in place. So as long as the regulations will allow, they'll be able to push it as far as they possibly can on a temporary basis and get back to all these people that kind of in North Park that frequented them and help them to become the brewery. They could move up to Vista, open a big giant facility, move to Point Loma, open a waterfront beer garden. So that is some very good news, and it could happen any second. So follow their social media, and you'll find out what's going on. Now, in honor of New Motion Beverages, specifically for you, I have alternative beverage news to report.
San Diego Seltzer news.
Exactly. So, Latitude 33 Brewing, currently brewing out of a Green Flash Marina in Mira Mesa. They, this week, introduced their first product in the L33 Seltzer line, which you'll never guess what fruit they based it on.
Wait, which one?
Blood orange.
Blood orange.
Like blood orange IPA, which is like one of the stickiest handles in town. You just cannot get that thing. If you're a different brewery, you're competing, you just cannot get that thing out of anywhere. Very popular beer. So they're going to have blood orange seltzer come out. Actually, they do this week, but then they have 2 other varieties coming out next year early, and they're getting into that game. Now, you would have thought I only had 1 seltzer item, but I have 2.
Yeah.
Just for you guys. But so a brewer who went up to the high in the ranks over at Chula Vista's based Boochcraft, he decided he wanted to start his own thing. Now he's contract brewing out of Northern California, but he's a Rancho Santa Fe resident. Warehouse in Poway, selling all of his seltzer by himself exclusively in the San Diego County. So it's pretty local. But it's a yerba mate infused company that's putting out what I hear are going to be things that would like knock me off my nut if I tried them. Some people are like, so it's called Yearbuzz, which seems
I'm the one on the show that says shit like that. That was awesome.
God.
So I can't wait to try it.
Our guests are never coming back. Our guests are never coming back.
No, we'll come to them. It'll be great. But anyway, Yearbuzz just launched this last month, and homegrown. See how it goes, but kind of a fun spin on seltzers that, again, like very much like emotion, something we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
An infusion of something that we haven't seen. So pretty interesting.
Yeah.
There you go. That is the news.
I was also a big fan of your Buzz's branding. Just really clean and kind of just really like, I don't know, just something about it. It just, the styling and everything worked for me. So if
I saw it on Brandon's Instagram, it looked really cool. It looked really clean.
If you're a packaging fan, this is also a brand that has something to offer for you. So and then before we walk away from Latitude 33, literally still this year, Blood Orange IPA was a top-selling beer in San Diego County, and it was the seventh most sold beer in this city in COVID era. When all of their clientele was, again, bars and restaurants more than, like, they were a very draft distributed based brewery before they teamed up with Green Flash and left their facility to a kombucha producer. So still, that Blood Orange IPA will not go away. It is a very, very stable product, that one beer. Like there's many breweries that wish they had a beer that sold that much. As much as there are some people that have made fun of Latitude 33 for being like maybe slightly not as inventive past that beer. You know, they've been selling Blood Orange IPA for what, 7-8 years, that one beer, but it is really still a very incredibly high selling product. So as much as you may not believe that, that is the truth, and that's what drives that business. And so I'm not surprised that when they branched into seltzer that they would stick with that same fruit profile. What if they came up with any other flavor, all of us would be like, what? Lime? Latitude 33 lime? Really? No. Anyway, so
Buddha's hand seltzer.
Right? Exactly. So if you are the type of person, and I believe that most of our fan base is, that wants to be incredibly informed about the San Diego craft beer market or seltzer or the craft beverage market in San Diego, I should say, go to patreon.com/San Diego Beer News, $5 a month. You'll have every story Brandon publishes 1 hour before the public. You'll know
Whole hour.
before it's tweeted, before it's Facebooked, all of that. You'll be able to be like, yeah, I've known for like 58 minutes. You'll
know before
loser.
Caesar.
Yeah, right? You'll know before Caesar.
Caesar still got to confirm.
So before we shut her down, Estella at Mujeres, what is there to offer the public for the next at least couple days until something changes?
So we actually have a big event on Sunday. It's going to be obviously COVID safe. It's a Mujeres holiday market. I have 17 different vendors, all outdoors. It's all female-owned businesses. And we actually do have the 3 beers that we did collaborations with. The La Casa Verde IPA that we made with 3 punk ales. We have the Remission Possible, the Sour Double IPA that we made with Hopnonymous. And then the only keg that we've ever served at Mujeres of the Black is Beautiful that we made with Kilowatt, with Ballast Point, with San Diego Beer.news, with Cosimo. We have it available right now. So you can.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's super good. It's a chicory stout. It's delicious.
Yeah, it was a great
So
beer.
yeah. But yeah, so come down to Mujeres. I'll be there all weekend. Please come visit me. Unless we're shut down.
And
but yeah.
And because
we can make it till Monday. Yeah. The weekend.
We're closed Monday. Let them close us down on Monday.
Something I learned coincidentally today is that Remission Possible, they have their last keg. So you have the last keg, and they have the last keg as well. So you want to try it, and it was really good.
It is a delicious beer.
This is the time. You don't have to support your local breweries.
Yeah.
Go do it with that beer. It's really great, and it supports great cause.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely. And it's brewed with pink guava and raspberries, and it is freaking delicious, you guys. You have to try it. So yeah, come down.
Next version, I sent and vanilla.
Yes.
And vanilla, yeah.
And because we couldn't possibly close out the show without one more Kelly chiming in. Thank you, Alexis. So, again, you can catch her at Embolden.
Yeah. Love it. She said, I'm also a Kelly.
Yes, exactly. As I said, we needed one more. One more Kelly to close it out. So let's get into our number ones. Estella, your favorite hard seltzer in San Diego?
No surprise to anybody. 3 punk ales, San Diego. Yeah, their watermelon seltzer is actually one of the only seltzers I've drank, and it is my favorite. So
of course, it has watermelon in it.
Yes,
bossy.
I've actually tried that one too. It was really good.
Right? Yeah. So that was my number one. That was Justice's number one, and I was like, I concur, ma'am. I concur. So yeah,
that's
I'm not a big watermelon fan, but that one was really good. And then his brother brewed a really good one at watermelon one at Creative Creature as well.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
okay.
those were awesome.
And still no appearance by your brother. What is this? What is this?
Nope.
Told you, I'm wearing the hat. I'm wearing the hat in honor.
He works at like 2:30 in the morning, so he's probably sound asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Hernandez, you're number one.
Well, it's already been named, but I really am impressed by Belgian Beaver. There's got to be something to this all-natural fruit thing because I'll tell you, I tried the beer. Sorry, how stupid of me. Seltzer across the board. Just they're almost so unsweet that they're savory. They're just they're almost neutralized. That you only get the fruit flavor plus just liquid. It's great. It's like if you just want to taste that essence of fruit, it's right there. It's unimpeded. It doesn't taste like alcohol. It doesn't taste like sugar. They're really good and unadulterated expressions of those fruits. So I was very, very impressed, and I had 3 of those. Now, if I'd had 3 of Emboldened, they probably would have been number 1. I don't know. But,
hey, exactly.
But anyway, I'm like them. I was very, very impressed by Belgian Beaver. So way to go with their game is good, and I like that they have these big cases that are available in places where people can actually taste that, so they can maybe taste the difference between that and say like a Truly or these mega brands. Let's drink local if we can.
Yeah.
It's crazy that White Claw and Truly literally own 90% of the market share of seltzer. They like domination's not even the right word. I don't know what word means dominating of domination. I don't know. Like nothing in America has 90% market share. It's crazy to me that those 2 brands just have that so much. But again, same for me.
I'm gonna go back to wrestling. And just say nation of domination. That's what they do.
Yes, right? Exactly. Like it's crazy. And it's like
wrestling fans will appreciate that. And
it's like a $2.1 billion industry this year during COVID. Insane. So next year it's probably going to be 4. It's ridiculous. But I agree. Cody mentioned him earlier. Brandon mentioned him. Belgian Beaver has the best hard seltzer in San Diego County, and the rest are playing catch up. And it's that's just how it is right now. And there'll be that rosé we had today was very original, and that stood out. But for what's widely available right now, I think Belgian Beaver has the crown on the market currently. But about times it was Savage Wood. I haven't got to try Savage Wood's seltzers, but I'm a big fan of everything Lance does over there. So
Lance.
Yes,
his name is Daryl.
I know what his name is. I'm making a Facebook joke. So not everyone goes by their real name in Facebook, and Daryl happens to be one of them. But so I will definitely get over there as soon as I can, Matt, and try that out. I trust the Bobineau's taste buds, so I'm sure it's a very high quality beverage.
Savage Wood's anniversary is coming up, and there's going to be a San Diego Beer News collaboration.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ian Cheeseman and Daryl Brown / Lance Savage Wood.
All right. That's really good news. What are the best social media channels to keep up with everything Emboldened Beer, New Motion, Beverage?
So right now, the best way is through Instagram. With the 2 brands, we have 2 handles. On Instagram, it's at Emboldened Beer and at Drink New Motion. So
okay, minor correction. It's at Emboldened Beer Co.
Yeah, sorry. I put an E and an M, and then it pops up for me. So Emboldened Beer Co.
Once you get past Emboldened B, it almost auto completes. So as long as you get that far, you'll probably find them. But those
are the 2. I mean, like I said, we're so new. We've been open to the public for 10 days. So Emboldened Beer Co. and Drink New Motion, those 2, we're starting to post there more regularly, get people excited about what we're doing, new releases, stuff like that. So those are the 2 best ways currently to follow us.
Excellent. Nice. We couldn't possibly do this show without the support of currently 52 amazing fucking humans in the world. It is the Indie Beer Show patrons, and if you think we provide enough edutainment or entertainment or education or infotainment or any other other stupid buzzword,
or Christmas trees,
exactly, and you were like, you know what, these guys are cool, I should support them. Well, the way to do that is to go to patreon.com/indiebeershow, or if you like short URLs, go to indie.beer, bright red button in the upper right-hand corner that says Become a Patron. And if you become a patron at $6 a month, which we call the pint level, I have to give you a shout out. It's a legal obligation. And this week, those amazing fucking humans that keep our lights on are Ben, Bill, Brian and Krista from Pariah, Brian, Captain Eli, Casey, Dan Diego's, Dante from Pariah. As you can tell, the love from Pariah goes both ways. David Martin, former producer of the show.
Hi,
Doug,
Second
Garen,
best.
the second best producer ever. Garen with Beer Alien. Greg Prinz, the Indie Beer Show brand, COVID-19 pandemic, socially distancing Zorball. Thanks to Greg and Maggie for making me say that. Happy Craftsman Podcast. James, Jared, Jason, Jess from Ale Tales, where Estella is.
Hi.
Joaquin, the president of Quaff. Joey from Hoppy Beer Gear, Juan, who happens to be Casey's husband, Judith, the beer historian, who was here at least for a little bit, Ken Learman, who was here earlier, honorary patron for life, Larry Smith, Liz from Hoffbauer, who was here, Matt and Candace Bobino, who are here, Matt Knapp from The Perfect Pour, Miguel, who is all the way out in Texas but still supports us. Thank you, Miguel. We appreciate that. Mr. Peacock from Tabcraft, we fucking love you. Mike Sahagan, Nathaniel, Norman, OC Brewgirl, Pacific Beer Chat, who was also in the house, Robert from 13 Point, Rudy from Jolly Spaceship. Go to jollyspaceship.com and get signed up for his final event. Unfortunately, Jolly Spaceship will, and Judith is still here, we just saw. Unfortunately, Jolly Spaceship will be coming to a conclusion very soon. There is one event left, one last chance. Go find the event, buy Rudy's private framed art, like the actual originals from his prints are available, the whole thing. Help that man close out 2020 in a profitable way, at least, so that he can move on cleanly to 2021. Sergio Nigos, who was in the house earlier, and the best pun in patron history, Jagus Vay. We fucking love you guys. If you want to reach us, we're at Cheers at Indie.Beer, at Indie Beer Show in Twitter, at The Indie Beer Show in Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to be the fifth person to leave us a voicemail this year, and you've only got like 2 weeks left, 619-798-6038. Thank you to everyone that joined us tonight. Thank you to Cody and Andrew, for Brandon, Abel, Estella, and myself. I'm Brian. You've been listening to the Indie Beer Show. Thank you, and good night.